Once upon a time, in a village, boys 1, 10, and 12 years old lived with their parents. So one day the boy goes to his grandfather's village after many years. Going there, he plays with his grandfather all the time. So while playing, one day he said to his grandfather, "Grandfather, when I grow up, I will become very successful. Can you tell me some ways to become successful?" So his grandfather looks at him smilingly and says yes to him. They take him to a plant shop, where small plants were found. From there his grandfather buys 2 small plants and comes back home. After coming home, they plant one of the plants in a big pot and keep that pot inside the house and plant the other plant outside the house. Then he asks his grandson, "What do you think? Which plant will grow well in the future?" The child thought for a while and told his grandfather that the plant that we have planted inside the house will grow well because it will be safe from all the problems inside the house, and the plant that we have planted outside is at risk from many things like strong sun rays, storm, hurricane, heavy rain, and animals too. His grandfather smiled and told him, "Let's see what happens to these 2 plants in the future." 4 years later, the boy visits his grandfather's house again. After seeing grandfather, he again asks him, "Grandfather, last time, I asked you how to be successful in life. But you didn't tell me anything, but now you will have to tell me." His grandfather smiled and told him, "Sure, but first let us look at those 2 plants that we had planted a few years ago." Saying this, his grandfather took him to the same place where he had kept the plant inside the house. He saw that the plant had grown into a big plant. Then he went to the place where he had planted the other plant outside. He saw that the small plant had now become a very big and huge tree. Its branches were very strong and long, and their shadow was falling across the entire ground. Now the boy's grandfather looked at him and asked him, "Tell me, which plant has grown bigger and stronger? Which plant has been more successful?" The boy said, "That plant which we had planted outside." "But grandfather, how is this possible? There must have been many danger situations in this plant. It must have faced many problems. But still, how did this plant become such a big tree?" His grandfather looked at him and said, "You are right. The plant that we planted outside must have faced many problems, and by dealing with those problems, it has grown so big and huge, and now it can grow its branches as much as it wants, and problems like storm and heavy rain make its branches even stronger, and that is why today it has grown into a very huge tree. The tree has grown, and now all these problems are small in front of it." Then his grandfather looked at him and said, "Son, always remember one thing. Unless you struggle in your life, unless you go through difficulties, you cannot achieve success in your life. If you always keep comfortable choices in your life, then you will not be able to grow as much in your life as you can, and if you do not give up every effort, then you will not be able to achieve success in life. If you are prepared for problems, if you are always ready for struggle, then achieving any goal will not be impossible for you, and then big problems will start looking small to you."